Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Ironbark Fields. It is a clear and typically windy day here in Melbourne's west. It's cool, 20 degrees for a retro day in the crowd. That's right, the old shirts are out and to be celebrated as well, while the stars of today in the Isuzu UTE League do their business on the pitch. We are on the land of the Bunurong and Wadawurrung people for today's clash in the A-League, the opening match of round 15 of the men's campaign, where an in-form Western United return to Ironbark Fields. They are undefeated here in 3 matches so far this season at their home. Their 2 home games that they've lost this season were both Melbourne derbies, which they moved to Amy Park. So here at Ironbark Fields, where they will play 8 of their remaining 13 fixtures, well, they will be hoping to create a fortress here. And they've certainly proved very hard to beat in recent weeks. They have 5 wins in their last 6, and they take on a Newcastle side who are looking to hitch their wagon to the chasing pack. They are 4 points behind the Mariners and Wellington Phoenix in 9th and 10th place. A win here, though, a 4th of the season, would see them keeping their finals hopes, even by the slightest thread, still alive. Well, let's have a look at our 2 teams then. John Aloisi's side have had a full match to prepare for this one. It's a rarity during our summer of football. They make just the 1 change from the starting 11 that came from behind 3 times to defeat Melbourne victory last Friday. Riku Danzaki, who provided the assist for Hiro Ibasuki's winner, he comes in for Luke Vickery. Former Jet Angus Thurgate has played every minute of the season so far for his goal on the opening day and 3 assists. And there is the 33-year-old Japanese striker Hiroshi Ibasuki. He has 7 goals so far this season, second only to Joe Lolly in the A-League. He scored both of Western United's goals here at Ironbark Fields as well. You can add to that the 2 he got here last season with Adelaide in a 3-3 draw. He has 4 goals here at Ironbark Fields, more than any other player. For the Newcastle Jets, well, Robbie Stanton has made just the 1 change from the side that lost 3-1 to MacArthur last weekend. Philip Kankar failed a late fitness test with an ankle injury, so he's joined the likes of Dane Ingham and Alexander Shushnyar on the bench. Nathan Grimaldi comes in, or rather on the treatment table. Nathan Grimaldi comes in for his first start of the season alongside Mark Natter, who makes his 50th start for the Jets. Matthew Scarcella makes it back-to-back starts for him in midfield, and up front it is Ben Gibson, who has 4 goals in his last 5, leading the line. It's been a good season so far for Thomas Aquilina as well. His best in the A-League. He scored his first goals this season, but he also got 3 in the Australia Cup run as well, including 2 against Western United, his first ever senior goals during the Australia Cup playoff match in Darwin in June. John Aloisi is doing a great job this season, bringing through the kids, giving them their faith and belief. Diogo Ferreira alongside him there. We just saw his assistant coaches as well, who are helping him with this remarkable season so far for Western United. And Robbie Stanton, coach in his 2nd season with the Newcastle Jets. He has 2 wins and a loss against Western United as head coach. He's only done better against Brisbane, where he has 3 wins and 1 loss. Adam Bavkar to take charge of this one. It's his 10th A-League game, and we are all set for a start. The countdown is on to round 15 of the Isuzu UTE A-League season. And it is the Jets that get us underway. They will be playing with a very stiff breeze, as we have quickly become accustomed to here at Ironbark Fields. It can make life difficult. There is a certain home ground advantage that comes with it for a team that plays here more often. It is the first time these 2 sides meet here at Ironbark Fields, and Eric Partaloo, while the home side, Western United, will start favourites. It's getting towards urgent time for the Newcastle Jets. They need points, they need them quickly.
Yeah, good day, Robbie. Absolutely. And I think tonight or this afternoon it's going to be a very, very close game. And we know Newcastle Jets have only won the 3 games, but all 3 of them away from home. And just with this win of the coin toss at the start, there's a big breeze going from right to left. And I think tonight you're going to see an energetic performance from the away side, but it's desperation at the moment. They've got to get themselves further up the table.
One over the top for Abel Wallity to chase into the win. It will take a little bit of time for the defenders to get used to as well. There's Nathan Grimaldi, who we haven't seen before this season. He actually played in that playoff match in Darwin against Western United and scored as well.
I remember that game fondly. It was a great finish as well, and he's going to have to get to grips with this game really early on. Western United have got a real incentive here. John Aloisi's men, they can go top of the A-League table, albeit on points, with a win here this afternoon. So that's the incentive for the team in green and black.
That's right, they'll have to win by about 8 or 9 goals if they want to move top with goal difference, but 24 points is on offer in a place sitting alongside Melbourne City and Adelaide United. If they can get that win, here is Clayton Taylor with Gibson. He's been in good goal-scoring form, Gibson, including the opener against MacArthur last weekend.
And what's been apparent is that pass from Natta. He steps in really well with that left foot and making good forward passes into that number 9 area. It's a good start, this, from Newcastle Jets. Can they make something from this corner?
It's going to be Costa Grozos, the captain of this Newcastle Jets side, across to take. Goes back post, and there you can see the effects of the wind, so everyone needs to get used to the wind here at Tarneit.
It's a great idea. Put it at the far post and make the ball go across the face of the goalkeeper. He's going to have to work really hard tonight, Sutton, to try and get his distances right and get his footwork right.
They're playing out from the back, inviting the pressure. Good work from Matthew Scarcella, chasing that one down. The number 6 for Newcastle. Had to bide his time as well this season, but is given his opportunity. One of a number of former Sydney FC youngsters and Western Sydney youngsters in this Newcastle Jets side. There are 3 young Jets all on the bench from the academy today. Will Dobson, who we've seen 6 times off the bench. Christian Bracco, who we've seen in the last 2 matches. And also Ben Van Dawson, who could be making his A-League debut if we see him later today. Tate Russell's header. Botic gets front position. Bozanovski looks to get it back to him. Here's Russell again. Got Ibasuki and Wallity in the middle. Imai with Danzaki. This is the first time we've seen Western United coming forward. Great run from Thurgate. Chips it into the area. It's claimed by Ryan Scott.
Well, there it is. Wasn't even 4 or 5 minutes on the clock for Angus Thurgate to get forward. And both sides opting to try and play out. It's very windy in Melbourne today, and the Newcastle Jets have got to get to grips early on. If they're going to play out, they've got to find the right passage to get out, and they don't find it again.
The only outfield player to have played every single minute for Western United this season, Angus Thurgate. His coach came out and said that perhaps there is something for him overseas. Certainly has the potential. The youngest player ever to play 150 A-League matches, just 24 years of age, for another 3 weeks or so. Wallity got a little bit lucky. Now he uses his strength well. Botic leaves it for Garuccio, but probably that was ill-advised.
Yeah, to go back to your point about Thurgate, 8th season in the A-League. And, you know, for such a young man, he's got a lot of games behind him and a lot more in front of him. Here he is here again trying to get involved. But in terms of the numbers, when you look at the numbers for what he produces for his side, most passes in opponent's half, most crosses, most tackles, most interceptions, most fouls received. He's all action.
Yeah, most duels I think I saw as well in there when I was having a look today as well. So he's there for absolutely everything, to go with the goal and 3 assists as well. You mentioned those 8 seasons, 6 of them with Newcastle, of course. Today's opposition, Bayliss with Taylor. Wilmering with a strong challenge from Danzaki. Looked like he just limped away from that challenge a little bit.
Yeah, they're the ones you're not sure about going to ground, and good to see both players getting up and getting on with it. But Danzaki just showing that physicality that for such a small guy, you don't expect it, but it's there.
Aquilina. Back with Grimaldi. He's given it away. Ibasuki. Touch off. Danzaki. He lays it off for Bozanovski. Desperate bit of defending from Bayliss, who's playing deeper today. Taylor gets away now. He's got Gibson. Wilmering coming up outside him. Taylor still going. Well defended in the end.
Well, they're lucky to get out of that situation. Nathan Grimaldi playing his side into trouble, but that's how quickly the Newcastle Jets can get forward. All started there with Taylor bursting forward, getting past a few challenges.
Turned over by Bayliss. Ibasuki. Botic. Outside with Danzaki. Quality and Botic in the middle. Danzaki still. Oh, it's been edged through by Bayliss into a dangerous area. That time Grimaldi's clearance, he got a bit more on it. Imai. Back to Sutton. Made more saves than any other goalkeeper this season, Matt Sutton. Oh, as Thurgate slips.
That's the second time he's slipped over. I don't know if it's a footwear issue or Angus Thurgate trying to get out just a little bit too quickly. But you can see how dangerous that transition moment is for both sides. They're finding spots to get forward. It's about that final pass. Now, here he is again, Thurgate just slipping over. There's a little bit of water on the grass, and it looks as though it's got the moulds on.
We're watching, there you can see the wind even from the throw. You can see how fast the ball is moving from right to left and not in the other direction, as Taylor wins the free kick off Tate Russell. But the Sprinklers in the pre-match were really struggling with the wind. I'm sure there are areas with a lot of water and some with none whatsoever, because when they came around to point towards the right, they were fighting a losing battle. It's Timmins trying to play that ball along the ground to not let it get lifted up by the air. Now Wallity taking on Grimaldi, looking to come inside. Wallity still. Grimaldi got a fair chunk on the attempted cross. Now Bozanovski. With Tomoki Imai. Russell looks up and crosses towards Ibasuki. Wallity at the back post against Grimaldi. Wallity still. It's a good stop from Scott, and Grimaldi concedes the corner.
Good save from Ryan Scott, and look how big they make the pitch, Western United. It was a great move and great pass from Imai into Russell. Got himself further forward, and Wallity at the other end got a shot away, got a shot on target. Grimaldi trying to come to grips with this early start, this early pressure from Western United.
Thurgate takes it short. Garucho's cross. Beyond Imai. Danzaki back. Good block from Wilmering, but a second corner for the home side.
They've got some great target men this year, Western United, Ibasuki in particular. It's almost just get the ball into an area, and they should know how to play to these conditions, Western United. It is a windy arena.
Garucho takes it short this time with Thurgate. His cross. Good ball. Grimaldi with the header away. Scarcella gives chase, but Danzaki will get there first. Quick feet, wants the corner, and gets it again.
Great feet. And what's interesting about the last two corners there, Robbie, they've gone short and just shifted where the ball's coming in from. So they're obviously trying to unsettle Newcastle Jets in that zonal marking and just try and have a different angle. They're not even sending two players out.
Well, they haven't each time, which surely sooner or later Western United are going to try and take advantage of. That time it was Dylan Leonard who got his glancing header onto it. Here, Matt Sutton, they're saying, I've got it, you turn, as he just touched it to Tate Russell. Leonard with Thurgate. Tomoki Imai again with Russell down this right-hand side. We know that Western United can never be counted out of a contest. We also know that the Jets have come from behind to record one of their 3 wins this season as well.
And that's what makes it so interesting, and particularly later on in the game, is the last 15 or 20 minutes or so where Western United score their most goals and where Newcastle Jets concede their most goals. So that's what I'm saying. I think it's going to be a close game, and you can see already both teams really working out each other, but it's going to be in that final part of the game. We know how good Western United have been from corners as well. So on a day like today where it's a little bit windy, it could cause even more problems.
4 goals scored from corners so far this season. Oh, as Wallity gets the better of Grimaldi. Aquilina. In fact, it's Bayliss who comes across and does well in cover. Now Aquilina takes over. They managed to get out of a potentially difficult situation as well. You can see that ball just run away. You're going to want to have some pace at the back and up front for chasing the balls around today.
Yeah, you've got to be short. And Sutton in goal, like I said, he's just got to have that positioning. Here he is trying to make it a 3 at the back and passing and controlling things. And Newcastle Jets are really good at springing that counter-attack. I'd love to see them be able to have a little bit more controlled possession in that middle part, but it's a plus point for them getting forward quickly, but it's in these areas where they don't have the ball and they chase and they have to do a lot of running.
They got away with that one. Tomoki Imai making Dylan Leonard do a little bit of hard work. Now, Garuccio back with the captain's armband after a groin injury. A couple of little knocks. Just perturbed his first half of the season. He provided the assist for Ibasuki's first equaliser last weekend against Melbourne Victory. It's just been Garuccio's 6th appearance of the season today.
Yeah, he's an important player, whether that's on the right-hand side providing crosses or the left-hand side. And in the modern day game, the left back and right back, you've got to be explosive, you've got to get yourself up and down, and you've got to provide crosses in that final third. And you know, you can no longer just sit there. Conversely, Aquilina is good on that right-hand side for the Jets as well.
He's having, without a doubt, his best season. Aquilina, Russell, under pressure from Timmins. Now Denzaki. Russell just turned into trouble. He was double-teamed there by Timmins and Gibson. Fought hard, conceding the goal kick in the end. Ryan Scott, another of the X's here today. He spent 4 seasons at Western United, 21 games, 5 clean sheets, played second fiddle to Jamie Young, who had that most outstanding season between the posts when Western United won the league in 2021-22. Taylor's touch for Gibson. Dylan Leonard was quick to close down.
And that's the big question. Can Western United go on to do something special this season again. And it's all about moments in seasons, and this is one of those moments where to win today, they can get themselves top of the table. They may not stay there the whole weekend and on points, obviously, but they're the moments you have to make count. And then from there on, it's about coaching and belief and doing the same things repetitively. And they've got the squad to do it.
They'll also have the wind at their backs in the second half. Garucio's cross. It was a great run down the left-hand side. Leonard with Wallity. Well, that's a good ball for Thurgate. He tries to cut back. Danzaki arriving. They don't need to wait till the last 15 minutes today. They're ahead in the 16th. Riku Danzaki's second goal of the season after that penalty against Auckland set the tone for their biggest win of the campaign. He's fired them in front here on home soil.
Well, it all started with that run from Benny Garuccio getting forward and then winning the ball back. It was Leonard. Wallity played that ball right into Thurgate, making that dangerous run. And who else was dangerous? Riku Danzaki at the far post on the Harvey Norman replay. You couldn't miss from there. And it's a great start to their game. Really, really opened up the defending line of the Newcastle Jets, and great work from the right-hand side. Riku Danzaki gets the opener here.
Justifying his return to the starting 11 after starting on the bench and making an impact off the bench against Melbourne Victory. There he is. He had a great season, his first with Brisbane Roar in the A-League before returning to Japan. He came back. He didn't have such an impact on his return. Riku Danzaki in his second spell at Brisbane Roar. Played with Jeff United. Headed to Scotland, where he played just 3 matches for Motherwell before returning again.
Yeah, I hate to put them all in the same basket, but how good is it having so many Japanese players in the competition? And we've seen, you know, the 3 here at Western United being so good and providing, not just being good players, but just their output as well. Now we're hearing that Perth Glory are going to have another 2.
Official, they arrived today.
Yeah, it's fantastic. In terms of a foreign spot, these are the types of players you want to attract. They're the best in the business, the best in Asia, wanting to come and play here in the A-League. It's fantastic.
And with it will come opportunities for the young Australian players in Japan as well. We've just seen perhaps not so young Jason Guerrier, but when Japanese players come here, it brings eyeballs from Japan to see what's going on, how their players are doing here, and in turn, players here can catch the eye.
You ask any player where you want to play across the world now, and it's a legitimate opportunity to play in Japan if you're a good player. And only the best from Australia get to go there. I can assure you that.
Russell back with MI. Here's Dylan Leonard. Wallity again. Good play, Abel Wallity. A little touch. Garuccio drives it in low towards Botic. He'll get another chance. Cross deep this time for Ibasuki. Botic there still. Ball allowed to drop a long way. Garuccio, Wallity drives it back in. It's going to be another corner.
Big pressure. 6 Western United players inside the box. The Newcastle Jets just need to clear their lines. Wallity providing a little slip pass for Garuccio. He got a second bite at this one. Benny Garuccio just tried to hang it up there, but it was dealt well with by Nutter, and they somehow scramble it away. But it's another corner for the home side.
And again, it's taken short. And again, they have lots of time, and this time they do run it in. Well, that's the risk. If you don't send 2 players out, you invite a 2-on-1 situation in your final third and a shooting opportunity.
If you get that right, you're on the money. But it's just been already so many corners for Western United.
Playing a little bit with fire at the back. The Newcastle Jets. Their defence hasn't been too bad this season compared to some of the sides that have really struggled to keep out goals. And I'm not just talking about Brisbane and Perth either. Defending has been a bit of an Achilles heel for a number of teams across the league. Perhaps the best example is that Western United have conceded more goals than Newcastle this season as well. But you have to be able to resist when under pressure, and they haven't been able to, and Ryan Scott just hesitated a moment.
What's interesting is that Newcastle Jets are playing almost like they're the team with the wind against them. I'd love to see them get further up the pitch and play balls high and wide and ask questions of that back line of Western, because right now they're not playing to that advantage.
Look at the pressure again, Bozanovski. Look at all the players they've got forward here. They've held on to the ball and they've got it into dangerous areas. Danzaki, he gives it away this time. And it's given straight back again. They have one of the best successful pass percentages in the league, Newcastle. But I wouldn't say either that they're a passing side.
Yeah, 87%, the best in the competition, but it's the game plan that you come away from home that maybe Robbie Stanton has tweaked ever so slightly. But now they're 1-0 down. What do they do now?
Flag up against Wallity for offside. Just saw, though, with that long ball launched forward, how it held up in the wind. There's perhaps a little tactic there, but you're absolutely right. Look, there it is, passes in opposition half. It's the home side that are dominating. Again, it's long, and you see that, no chance for Ben Gibson.
And a really experienced campaigner, Tomoki Imai, just going to sit there and hold up that option from Gibson and wait for him to try and get to the ball. And then it's about Dylan Leonard and Russell getting behind and scoping out what's the danger behind them. But Newcastle Jets, can they get another player further forward?
We were wondering how they were going to be lining up, but looks almost like a 4-4-2. 4-3-3. Scarcella playing very high up, but now having to drop back into midfield. That's another good run from Wallity. Lays it off, Bozanovski. Invites Russell to join the attack. Just hesitated a moment, he saw it just a bit too late, Tate Russell. The run of Botic. Scarcella closed down by Thurgate.
Really good play, Angus Thurgate. Scarcella almost playing that number 10 role, as you said before, Robbie. And maybe that's the change now, getting him to step further forward. But the guys like Wallity are finding little pockets of space. And when you've got two sitting midfielders sitting in there, like Newcastle Jets have, they shouldn't find those types of spaces.
And giving it away again, Thurgate. Just cleaning everything up at the base of midfield. Bozanovski. Garucho coming across just to squeeze in that space and cover. They have to be careful not to overcommit numbers forward either, Western United, in this situation. It only takes one ball over the top. We've seen a couple of players slipping as well. Most of this match being played, as you can see there, in the away back third. Here's Bayliss. We saw him as part of a front three earlier this season when he got his goal against Perth in that 4-0 victory in the West. That's a good challenge from Dylan Leonard. It's been the highlight of the season so far, along with that first perhaps 80 minutes against Sydney FC a couple of weeks ago. Now Garucho puts it up towards Ibasuki, arriving. The ball just bouncing around again, not dealt with at all by the Newcastle backline.
It's another great option. Ibasuki, if he maybe just switched himself on a little bit more, he would have had a tap in. Garuccio arriving yet again. And this forward pressure here when they're getting the ball, it's so dangerous for the Newcastle Jets to be trying to play out.
Again, it's turned over. Again, Thurgate with the little slip. Scarcella gets there, Natta with Wilmering. John Aloisi, you can see him there encouraging his side. Given away by the youngster Dylan Leonard. Bozanovsky wins it back.
Just lacking an outlet, Robbie. I think with Newcastle Jets, they've only got Gibson up there, but you can see how much work Clayton Taylor's having to do here, going and pressing. When they're getting beaten, they're not getting back and helping out. So Western United, here they go again. Patient build-up, and they'll find a little gap. Movement's pretty good today.
Here's Costa Grozos, who's actually in the centre of defence, alongside Natta today, with Grimaldi at right back. Aquilina is moved a little higher up. Russell, cross back post, and it curls away from everybody. Here is Aquilina. Well, it's going to be a long day if they keep giving the ball away like this. Every couple of passes.
And you start to look over your shoulder at your teammates, you know, because you're chasing the ball, you're chasing shadows. Here they come again.
Garucho already provided 3 chances. That one just too high for Botic. Bozanovsky. Oh, that was almost a clever pass for Danzaki. Jets repelled the danger, but only for a matter of seconds. Here it comes again. Put up by Thurgate as it holds up again. Not quite enough that time.
But check the difference. Tate Russell inside the box. Ben Garuccio inside the box. That's your left and right back getting forward to try and influence the play and to find spaces in the 18-yard box. Haven't seen that from the Newcastle Jets, not even from their wingers or their wide players.
Here comes the press. Garuccio looking to close down Aquilina. Unai wins it. This time they can't control, but there again, you see how Western United at home, John Aloisi spoke about it. They've played a couple of home matches at Amy Park. Now they've got 8 home matches starting today, 5 away to finish the season. They haven't had a bye yet. They want to play at home. They want Ironbark Fields to be a fortress for them.
And it's the environment that he's created at Western United. You don't come from behind in games like that in a couple of weeks. You know, you can do it once or twice and get lucky, but it's about the day-to-day. And I guess the staff that they have there, Michael Theo's a winner, Massimo Madoka, guys like that around the place create that. And then it's about the coach being able to tickle the psyche of individual players. And they're getting it right.
And they come again, Garuccio. Just kept in play, only just. Here's Russell, into the wind, lined it up to have the shot. Botic does well, a little flick through the legs, but straight out of play. Well, they've invited pressure and the press. And again, Gibson's header on. Well, it's not easy to play in a match with wind like this down on pitch level, but I wouldn't have thought it was easier for the home side playing into the wind than the side playing with the wind at their back, but they haven't been able to control it or use it to their advantage at all. And it's Ibasuki with more brilliant football for Wallity, still with that right leg heavily strapped. Wallity turning, Grimaldi gets the cross in. Garuccio, clever touch. Wallity chips it this time towards Botic. Thurgate arriving. Pete Timmins in the air, but it's straight to Ryan Scott.
If there's one negative for Western United, it's that final ball. Ibasuki, he could hold up an aeroplane. He's so good in those sorts of areas. And Wallity waiting for the arrival of somebody in a green and black shirt. It was Thurgate yet again. And they just couldn't clear their lines, the Newcastle Jets, and they've got to get something changed, particularly maybe with their formation or the way that they're operating. They're very deep, trying to sit in, but when they break, they haven't got anybody far enough forward to do something on the offensive end.
You can see Robbie Stanton there saying, talk, you've got to talk to each other. I think that was directed toward Gibson and Scarcella, who are phenomenal front two, if you like. Here's Bottage. Ooh. Well, that had a bit behind it on the left foot, plucked out of the air by Ryan Scott.
My word, he caught that well. And with that left foot, doesn't matter, left foot, right foot, so technically gifted. And he's been a little bit quiet up front tonight, but everything's just so consistent with what Western United are trying to do on and off the ball.
Nata gives it away. Little one too, Ibasuki. That was heading towards that bottom corner. And that's how quickly they can strike. It was another mistake, Nata giving the ball away. And 3 passes later, the ball was almost in the back of the net. Well,
they've got to get this sorted, the Jets. Ibasuki with a beautiful little technical shot in the bottom corner. But it was Scott with a fantastic tip around the post. It's a good save, and it needed to be.
They've got 3 players inside the 6-yard box, just marking space at the moment. So not enough to go out and try and close down the 2 playing the short corner. Again, though, perhaps Western United sticking to the game plan of the early cross. There's the XG. Newcastle's coming from just their 1 shot. It came very early on. Western United have had 11 shots since that first one from Newcastle.
That's crazy. And what's dangerous about this side as well, 12 different goal scorers. And that's, you know, I think Melbourne Victory have 12 as well, but that's so difficult to mark. Who do you worry about? Who do you concentrate on? And potentially why we're seeing the Newcastle Jets sitting in here and trying to park the bus a little bit.
But when the press did come, they played their way around it, and now Newcastle do sit a little bit deeper. That's turned over. Aquilina against Leonard. Aquilina. The youngster's done that well. Back to his goalkeeper, Sutton. Dylan Leonard again. Quality. Pressured. Well played, Grimaldi. Scarcella with Aquilina. Here's Bayless. Closed down by Thurgate. Well, now they've got the ball in Western United's half of the field. Not for long, they've been forced back, pushed back by that Western United pressure. Nata with Wilmering. That's clever from Clayton Taylor. Gibson let it run. Now the ball for Scarcella. Oh, it wasn't a bad idea, but he was just caught on his heels.
Western United did everything right in that press. They're perhaps a little bit late with Russell at the end, but Newcastle Jets, that's more like it. Playing their way out of trouble. And just that final ball, yes, into the wind's difficult, but I like the intent along the ground. It was almost in for a one-on-one opportunity.
You can hear Robbie Stanton screaming at Scarcella to go, but it was a lone press, if you like. They have won the throw. Down in front of those travelling Newcastle fans, of which there's a pretty healthy number in that far corner of the grandstand.
I think most of them were trying to escape the wind from Sydney, and they found more winds down in Melbourne.
There is a lot of wind across the east coast of Australia at the moment. Grimaldi with Grozos, and you can see Grozos there saying the passes need to come quicker, firmer. Got to move the ball fast, but it also has to be precise, and that's not the case at the moment.
They've got to be quick because the press has been so good from Western United. In those key areas when they get themselves out one side, that's where they have to get it right. And just becoming a little unstuck when they have more time than what they think. little bit more patience is required.
Sutton again. Scarcella. He's doing a lot of the heavy lifting up front at the moment. Over the top, Mata. Under pressure. He recovered well enough, but he's given it away now. Danzaki. Ibasuki. Back for Danzaki. Had Wality momentarily one-on-one up front alongside him, but they couldn't find him. Imai now for Dylan Leonard, the 17-year-old. With Garuccio. Garuccio gets space to cross again, and Botic is there. It's a brilliant ball inviting the header, and Noah Botic, cool as you like, from 6 yards out into the top corner. Western United 2, Newcastle Jets 0.
Well, how good was that? It'd been coming for a while. Ben Garuccio getting high, wide, and onside. The Harvey Norman replay. What a ball in from the left back. And it didn't require a lot of work from Noah Botic. Just make the run, get in there. I'll find you. But he burst through bodies, Noah Botic. And they've taken a 2-0 lead, but the ball in from Garuccio. It's magnificent, brilliant. Botic, it's 2-0.
And it's going to be a long way back now for Newcastle. Disappointment for Ryan Scott. Joy for Benny Garuccio, captain of this side. It really was an inviting cross in. 5th goal of the season for Noah Botic. They've got big raps on him. They've had big raps on him for a number of years now. It's his 16th goal and his 4th against Newcastle. He scored more against Newcastle than any other opponent in the A-League.
And his contract's up at the end of the season. So watch this space. There's a player that will want to test himself abroad again. But it's about doing the business week in, week out. And as a striker, you can go quiet, you can not get touches on the ball, but inside the box, it almost looked like that ball was maybe too high for him. But he's just gone and smacked it into the top corner. It's a brilliant header.
Spent 2 years at Hoffenheim in Germany before returning to the A-League. Just took a little time to find his feet, but now perhaps there's something on for Newcastle with Gibson. Wilmering charging forward, Scarcella's there as well. And his pass just found Dylan Leonard, who finds space for the clearance and then boots it as far as he can.
At what point you were seeing Leonard, what are you doing? Go towards the ball. But he did ever so well understanding that the goalkeeper can see this, but I've got to worry about what's going on at the far post and the other player that was inside the box. Very well done.
Imai, under pressure from Gibson. The throw has gone Western United's way. Well, that was really the first time we've seen since the opening couple of minutes of the match Newcastle create any sort of danger in and around that Western United penalty box. Wality. Garuccio, it's one for Wality to chase. Grimaldi is quick though. Ryan Scott. He gives it away now. Mozanovski. With Leonard again. Their turn to try and tease out the opposition. Matt Sutton perhaps doing too good a job of the teasing. Scarcella almost got there, and now they do have it back. Aquilina, no way past. Garuccio, who did well. Bozanovski with Ibasuki. Garuccio and Thurgate.
They're playing with it now. Very, very comfortable. 2-0 lead at home. And the Newcastle Jets just still unsure about their pressure. They're a little bit late in some respects, but it's just the way that Western play out. That's a bit of a dangerous ball, but they somehow come out of it.
Botic lunging in. Well, I mentioned at at the top how important a win could be for Newcastle, because they've managed to claw their way off the bottom where they were with Brisbane and Newcastle and Perth rather at the start of the season. Thurgate can't keep it in. They're still in 11th place, but with 10 points, they're 4 behind Wellington and the Central Coast Mariners. Already 11 outside the 6, but if they could just close that gap to the likes of Wellington and the Mariners, they would be in mid-table and perhaps with something still to hope for. But at the moment, they're already 11 points out the 6 and 11 points behind Western United.
27-18 the last time the Jets in the finals. And that's what they have to try and fix, try and change that.
Bozanovsky looking to add more misery to the Newcastle Jets. Garuccio drives it in low. I think that's come off. I thought that might have ricocheted off Botic on its way out, but it isn't. It's another corner. Callum Timmins may have a little problem here.
Another corner. It's 6 now for Western United. Now, if they get a third here before half-time, it's going to be even more difficult, obviously, but just that mental blow. 3-0, so much bigger and nasty to look at when you go in. Just got a little elbow as he went down.
Thurgate. Garuccio has stepped away. You can see him at the top of the box there. Garuccio's ball in. A little touch from Botic. How about that from Tate Russell? Lovely technique. They're playing with a certain confidence, Western United. The cross in. Ibasuki's there. Wasn't far away from getting that third, and if anything, he had other options behind him as well.
Just a little bit static there, wasn't he? He just jumped and maybe jumped a little bit too early and tried to hang, and it was Natta getting back, just putting him off. Newcastle Jets opt to play out. This time a successful one for them.
Bayliss finding Scarcella. Now Wilmering. Scarcella again. Grimaldi. Aquilino. Natta. Received from Grozos. Natta as well. Aquilino with a little bit of space. And then as he tried to accelerate and look for a 1-2, just took his eye off the ball. Grimaldi, that's a strong challenge on Wallity. Clean as a whistle, though. Timmins. Gibson, nice touch. Been very well defended. Ben Garuccio again. He's been excellent so far. The Western United captain.
Yeah, Sutton wasn't sure there whether or not he could pick the ball up. There's a tackle coming flying in. Lucky Wallity got out of the way of that one. It was flying in from Grimaldi.
There is Aquilino with the throw. We're a far cry from that 4-1 win in the Cup playoff in the opening game of the season. Scarcella, the cross, just beyond Clayton Taylor. And it runs away, goal kick, and that might have been the last opportunity for Newcastle in this first half.
There's Lockie Rose. A few of the players warming up, and potentially see him earlier than expected. I think that's probably needed. There's a bit more firepower. You can see how much that ball's just hanging up in the wind, so the Jets are going to have to contend with that first and foremost. And now what's the game plan to go into the wind? It's obviously to try and keep the ball on the ground, but I would have liked to have seen them use the wind to their advantage a lot more in this first half. And they haven't even gone and asked a question, just knock one over.
Sutton comes a long way, but again, perhaps in Newcastle's defence, it's not just a stiff breeze, it is blowing a gale from right to left on here. You just saw it then, a little gentle ball over the top. Just runs away.
I just feel it's the options for them. We can see at the moment you've got Gibson and Scarcella sitting up there on the front, but it's in the wide areas. I haven't seen enough of Taylor or Bayliss or somebody, Aquilina, getting forward into the wide areas. It's just been very, very central.
Imai, now that's given away. Timmins, straight back in. No foul on Scarcella, according to referee Adam Bavkar. Bozanovsky with Garucho. Just the 1 minute of stoppage time, and that is up. And that is half-time here then at Ironbark Fields. Playing into the wind, it has gone as if they'd scripted it. The home side, Western United, perhaps feeling a little bit over their late show thrillers that they've been providing for us in recent weeks. They've decided to strike early in this one, and first half goals from Riku Danzaki in the 17th minute, and then Noah Botic 20 minutes later have given the home side a commanding 2-0 lead at the break here at Ironbark Fields. United 2, Jets 0 at the break. And we will head off to a quick break, and we will be right back here at Ironbark Fields with the halftime show. Don't go away.
Are remaining in the season bowl.
It's football's hottest summer.
What is the gift? Never heaps of giving.
Well, that is just pretty close.
78 games across 28 days. It's the A-League's biggest summer of football ever.
Action-packed fun for everyone's holidays. Family passes start from only $24. Search A-League's tickets online to get your tickets today.
Reimagine outdoor cooking with the Ninja Woodfire Outdoor Oven. Unlock high-end wood-fired flavor you can see and taste. Break up the heat with crispy crunch. Frozen pizzas to smoking fire relations. Authentic wood-fired flavors to anything you make. Share the flavors of your life.
I'm the Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here starts January 19 on 10. An AFL Premiership winner, a headline grabbing Olympian, and one of Australia's most famous comedians are heading into the jungle. Get ready to be starstruck. January 19 on 10. And the Assist of the Month award goes to eToro. Goals by assists. So pursue your financial goals on eToro with assistance of over 35 million users. Ask questions, explore other investors, strategies, performances, and investments. Get insights and ideas to build your ultimate portfolio of wide variety of assets like global money shares, crypto, NFTs, and more. Join eToro, proud sponsors of the A-Leagues.
What happened to rehearsal?
Here we go. It's coming right now.
Yeah. And I thought your 9-hour explanation of Route 1 football was a real eye-opener. Thank you so much.
Got 2 Simon hits before and after.
Did you spot a foul?
It's a bad camera angle. I think that's fair.
He just mildly snaps his Achilles.
Right. The slow motion. The slow motion
makes it worse. Sorry, what's that? Oh, we've been moved to 10p. That is devastating.
Welcome back to Tarneet and the Hungry Jacks halftime show. It has been a pretty good first half of football for the home side, Western United, and could have been more as well had Noah Botic, after combining with the quick feet of Hiroshi Ibasuki, found the top corner there.
Good package, isn't he? Noah Botic, good striker of the ball, good mover, getting himself into some great positions, getting headers inside the box. A few fans from Newcastle have made the journey as well.
That they have. Well, they wouldn't have had too much to cheer about. Let's have a look at the Harvey Norman highlights. And after a good start from Newcastle, an even start to the contest, on the 17th minute, Riku Danzaki got his second of the season.
It'd been coming, lots of pressure, lots of corners, lots of forward running. Again, Angus Thurgate at the heart of it. Benny Garuccio's been good as well, but Danzaki beautifully closed the back door there. And they just keep applying pressure. Newcastle Jets playing themselves into trouble a lot of the time and not having an answer when they get the ball forward. But here's that ball for Botic's header, and really that shouldn't be happening in terms of the marking. You should not allow somebody to jump inside the 6-yard box, and the goalkeeper hasn't come for it. But Benny Garuccio, great piece of skill, glorious ball in. All he had to do is stick his head on the end of it.
Yeah, I'm sure Robbie Stanton will not enjoy watching that one too many times. Even from the pressure to find the ball down the side, you know Garuccio's got 1 foot. What he's going to do with it, you've shown him to the left side, an uncontested cross in. And the Paramount Plus player index shows that it's Noah Botic leading the way, courtesy of that goal amongst others. Dylan Leonard, Ben Garuccio, Danzaki and Ibasuki. The top 5 are all from the home team, Western United. And as I said, it could have been more because the chances at one point in that first half were coming thick and fast.
Consistency is key, and it's about when they deliver the ball into the box. They've got numbers in there. So even if something breaks down or ricochets off somebody, there's a green and black shirt there ready to pounce. Garuccio's positioning's been superb. That final ball, he's trying to lift it the second attempt there, and that was another close opportunity. Ibasuki going up one-on-one against anybody in this league is a warning sign. Newcastle Jets in big, big trouble at the back.
They were just unable, despite having the wind at their backs, unable to play out, unable to bring any danger on Matt Sutton's goal. That effort from Botic, another one. There were some quick feet, and if it hadn't been for Ryan Scott, who made a couple of bright saves as well, it could easily have been more. There are the statistics, and they are all in favour of the home side, from 13 shots to 1, 5 on target. We know who the busier keeper has been. Expected goals are in their favour, passing accuracy, and that's normally been one of the Jets' forte. Passes in opposition half, touches in the box, final third entries, everything in favour of Western United. All right, now we're going to quickly jump up to Sydney and chat with Grace Gill and Daniel McBreen, who are getting ready for Western Sydney versus the Mariners. It's windy here in Tarneet. What's it like up there in Sydney?
Thanks, Robbie. Yes, it is blowing an absolute gale out here at CommBank Stadium. And tonight, the Western Sydney Wanderers, Central Coast Mariners. Well, Macca, we know that the Wanderers, they've been able to find the back of the net this season. Defensively, perhaps a couple of questions. But for the Mariners, it's been a really difficult season. What are you expecting for tonight?
Well, tonight, I think there's going to be mistakes. That wind is swirling around everywhere. I think there'll be lots of opportunities for goals. Western Sydney have scored goals for fun. They haven't missed a game scoring this year. They've scored in every single game in the A-League, but they've only kept 1 clean sheet as well. The Mariners have found it hard to score goals, but if there's a defence, 1 or 2 or 3 of the defences in the league that is going to give them opportunities, Western Sydney will have that. So maybe they'll find their scoring boots tonight as well.
Well, we know as well that the transfer window is open and we're starting to see some movement across clubs, particularly the Wanderers. They've made some announcements announcements across the last 24 hours. What have you made of those?
Yeah, look, I think it's good. I always love the transfer window. Obviously, Carluccio coming back home, as he says it. I think Alex Gersbach is a good signing as well in that back line. And I'm sure there's a couple more that will still be coming in the coming weeks.
All right, let's get a tip from you. What are you calling for tonight?
I think Western Sydney win.
A Western Sydney win from Mr. Mariner himself. That's all from us for now. Back to you, Robbie.
Wonders will never cease. Thank you, Grace. Thank you, Daniel McBreen. Let's get stuck into some potato. Lawton's overhead goal. What a moment that was. Well, we've already had plenty of football this week, and before Western Sydney are in action later today, they were in action on Tuesday against Perth, and they just managed to get the job done as well, despite that Adam Taggart goal in the end. Western Sydney just too strong.
You've just got to hope that they've been recovered enough. That's the biggest question mark. They love to get forward, explosive, and they had to defend a lot right towards the end. They're under a lot of pressure from Perth Glory. But Western Sydney, are they turning the corner in terms of their consistency levels?
Well, there are the results and the fixtures. What's still to come? Half-time here and a 2-0 lead for Western United. The Wanderers against the Mariners coming up later on Paramount+. Then tomorrow, Auckland against Melbourne City in the early kick-off game. And then on 10 Bold and Paramount+, Sydney FC looking to take advantage of Brisbane Roar's difficulties at the moment before the 65th original rivalry match between Adelaide and Melbourne Victory. There it is, the big one coming up tomorrow night at 7 p.m. on 10 Bold. Adelaide versus Melbourne Victory. South Australia versus Victoria. We're off to another quick break, and we'll be back with all the second half here in Tarneit. Before all of them, there was this one between Adelaide United and Melbourne Victory. The original rivalry. Falupale on his left foot. The save, and Fornaroli. Kieran Kunda lets fly. Oh! Appeals for a handball, penalty given. It's Bruno. Original rivalry triumph for Melbourne Victory.
Impressive view in the first half, of course, the scoreline, but overall, the question you guys was good. I thought it was impressive result, especially against the Heat there. It was good to get some of the score. This win does not ease. What's the message at half time?
We've got the win now, so it should suit us a little bit more. So hopefully, aim is to score some more goals.
Good luck second half.
A guest mic and IFB. Yeah, I've got you there. Lovely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to walk away from these M10.
Alrighty, I'm back in behind your boys in green. Western United, here we go for a big second half.
Ironbark Fields. We're all set for the start of the second half. A couple of changes to both sides as well. Chasing the game for the Newcastle Jets, Lockie Rose and Will Dobson are into the game at the halftime break, and for the home side, Matt Grimaldi has come on to replace Abel Wallity. Just saw both coaches in the dugout, ready to continue their battle from the bench. And it's Hiroshi Ibusuki that gets the second half underway. He'll be looking for a goal to take him top of the goal-scoring charts. He's currently one behind Joe Lolly, who has 8, Ibusuki 7. It's been an outstanding season for Ibusuki. He wants the ball. Matt Grimaldi looking to run onto that one. And then it's immediately Eric Partaloo, Western United, onto the front foot.
Good sign. It's exactly what you want after half-time, being 2-0 up. The dangerous scoreline, don't forget. Newcastle Jets have got to find a way, and putting Lockie Rose into the game this early on is a good sign. He's probably at that point where he can last another 45 minutes in football. Had that groin injury for a long, long time, but he's going to have to run here. He's going to have to run up and down the field and go long and press, because they are behind. They're going to have to chase the game here.
Matthew Scarcella has made way in that central role for Lockie Rose. Clayton Taylor is still out there. Now, Nathan Grimaldi, the other player, to come off as the Jets. Threatening early with that shot across the face of goal. And that's what they need to show more of as well.
Immediate impact, having Lockie Rose as that target. And it was a great little ball across. I think Lockie Rose probably needs to get a stud on that one. That was really, really close. And that's the strength that he possesses, is that final 5 yards bursting onto things.
Now here we'll see our 2 lineups at the bottom of your screen there. No changes at the back. There has been a change with Grimaldi going off. It's now Aquilina who's on the ball here, charging forward, who has dropped to right back now. Aquilina's done well, cuts it back, the little flick. Ben Gibson looking for his 5th goal in 6 matches. Well, that was not far away. Not far away at all for Newcastle, and perhaps a goal early in the second half could really turn things around here as well. As I mentioned, they have come from behind once this season. It was only a goal down, though, to MacArthur. And an early Marian Jaklic goal in round 2 of the season.
It's exactly what you want to see. Getting early opportunities. They've got to try and take one of them, however. Western United had a really good first half. Now they've got to weather a bit of a storm. And it's amazing what just a couple of different ingredients and substitutions will do to a side. And that half-time team talk, no doubt, would have been a heated discussion.
Clayton Taylor gets there ahead of Noah Bottage. Here's Bayliss with Dobson. Aquilina forced back and closed down. Seeing the baby-faced Will Dobson there, just 16 years of age. The number 28 for Newcastle. Born in 2008. Oh, that's a risky clearance from Grozos that bounced off Bottage. There is Will Dobson.
How much younger are we going to go in the A-League? Yeah, it's great to see. I mean, what an experience, what an opportunity. And it's a game he's got to step in here and try and get his team out of a hole. It's not like 5 minutes off the bench, which is the best ingredient, right in the deep end. Dobson.
Well, until now, that's exactly what it has been. 6 appearances off the bench for a total of 38 minutes. So he's going to more than double his total league and experience, A-League experience rather, in this second half of football. Natta. Little touch. And now Gibson might be in here against Leonard. He's got support inside, the little pass. Clayton Taylor, oh, he's lifted it over the keeper and over the crossbar. And that was possibly the opportunity for the Jets to get back in this game.
It's got to be a goal, getting those opportunities. Which way is the wind blowing? Seems to be just favouring the Jets in this second half already. He went for the dink, and perhaps the side-footed finish. The onrushing goalkeeper was coming out. Sutton just needed to be finished in the bottom corner. Glorious chance.
Those Jets fans behind the goals thought that was their moment. But better signs from the away side. Garuccio, oh, he's somehow managed to do a Houdini act and get out of that one. Taylor, double team. Leonard's header. Bozanovsky. Perhaps it's the wind at the back of Western United that's causing them a few problems now.
What a strange game of football, but they've got to get back into their pattern, and you can see the Newcastle Jets have got players further forward now in their press, and it's well played by Western United.
Classy touch again from Hiro Ibasuki. Back to Scott, under pressure from Botic. You see it holding up as a little bit clumsy from Garuccio through the back of Timmins.
More high pressure from Benny Garuccio. Doesn't take a backward step. If he's got to go and foul there and stop the play, he does it. Smart player.
Natta with Grozos. And with Ryan Scott again. Thurgate trying the first time ball. It was too hard to control. Dobson hasn't been able to keep that in play.
I don't think you can play your goalkeeper in on the line of his goal. You've got to play it away from the goal. It's a very dangerous situation, and somehow the Jets got out of it.
Now they've got to try and play their way out again. Aquilina puts it up into the wind. Lockie Rose goes down. It's glanced on by Grimaldi. Ibasuki. And now Aquilina brings it away with Gibson. Foot in there from Dylan Leonard. Back with Sutton. Oh, he's been closed down by Clayton Taylor. And Clayton Taylor's looking very lively in this second half.
Great energy. That's what you want to see. Everybody trying to go and close things down and chase lost causes. That's what it takes to get yourself back into a game. 2 goals down, never mind 1. They've got to go and chase a little bit and overcommit in certain areas. That's a good win back there. And now they can keep possession and try and build something. The team with the best completion rate in the competition, they've got to now try and make use of that.
Timmins with Aquilina. Dobson turned into Garuccio. Timmins gets a couple of bites at the cherry, but it's Bozanovsky that comes away with it now. Botic coming deep. He's got Danzaki outside. Oh, Noah Botic! How about that? Well, that is an absolute Exocet missile into the top corner. Pick that one out. And just when it looked as though the Jets might be able to find a way back into the game, they have been put back in their place by Noah Botic.
Pick that one out on the Harvey Norman replay. It was all about the body shape to turn himself and go forward with the football. We talked about him having great technical ability in the first half with the left foot. This one's with the right foot. And Botic makes another big play. And he absolutely blows everybody away with that finish. That's big time from Noah Botic. It's 3-0 to Western United.
His 6th of the season. He spotted the camera in the grandstand as well.
Just keep adding those zeros to the end of the contract, honestly. We talk about Ibusuki so much as being a key player. Yes, he is, but it's bringing out the best in someone like Noah Botic as well.
Well, he scored a great header to equalise in the 91st minute against Melbourne victory last week. He's got a double here now. He was already atop the Paramount Plus player index. He's going to be streaking ahead now. Lockie Rose, a little touch for Clayton Taylor. The challenge by Leonard. Now he's just a goal behind his teammate, Hiroshi Ibusuki, in the scoring charts.
And that's so healthy. Last season it was Daniel Pena only scoring 7. And this year, Ibusuki already at that mark. And it just goes to show you with someone like John Aloisi being able to pick players, and particularly forward players, and identify what ingredient do I need for my team that's going to benefit the playing squad. And it maybe was Ibusuki's presence that helps everybody out. But when you've got guys in the dressing room like that as well, Noah Botic maybe goes an extra 20%.
It's his 5th goal in this fixture as well. Noah Botic, was Sutton. Had to scurry and he got there. He's been a regular on the score sheet, scored in that 2-0 victory back in round 17 of last season as well. One for Lockie Rose to chase. It was his goal against Brisbane that gave Newcastle a precious 3 points. Now Grimaldi. Brozos all the way back to Ryan Scott.
There's never really been a blowout in the head-to-head, having a look at the stats before the game. And you talked about Western United wanted to go top of the table. Was it with 8 goals the difference?
Yep. Well, they'll have to accelerate a little bit if they want to get there. Another couple, and they will start to get in the conversation of their biggest wins, but we're not there yet. Dobson's pass for Lockie Rose, and the Jets do have a goal back. And were we a little too premature in putting this game to bed? Because that goal has been coming as well. And it's Lockie Rose off the bench to give his side some hope.
That was great work from Dobson there, just to hold up and be centred enough to play in Lockie Rose on the Harvey Norman replay. You can see the influence Lockie Rose has whenever he enters a game, just makes himself a nuisance, and was really stirring things up communication-wise between Imai and Sutton. And that's all it takes. Good strikers, they hang around, they wait, and they got a scrap there. Lockie Rose gets one back for Newcastle Jets.
Now it is just being checked by VAR. That goal coming just 4 minutes after Noah Botic got his second. Now let's have a look here. Now, I don't think that's offside for Dobson. Certainly Lockie Rose is in a passive offside position through the middle. Gibson might have been as well, but not there for me. That looks all right.
Are they looking at the push maybe in the back? I don't think so. It's going to be a goal, surely.
Goal awarded. Decision upheld. And now can Newcastle build on that and make a game of this? We know that Western United are fast finishers, but perhaps they can be beaten at their own game here. Grimaldi and Aquilina wrestling. Referee says goal kick.
Those duels become really important, particularly for Western United now. Well, they thought the game was dead and buried. They have to, like you said, step on the accelerator, but it's, well, good pressure there. They didn't even have to try too hard. That's frustrating for Newcastle Jets, but the game's not done. There's a lot of football yet to be played.
2 goals in 4 appearances this season for Lockie Rose, who was injured just on the eve of the opening day. Now Garucio's ball in. It's all white shirts there. Clayton Taylor with the nod on, back in from Thurgate. Ibasuki is there. The flag stayed down. It was a great opportunity for Ibasuki that he lets slip from his grasp.
Hiroshi Ibasuki, you expect him to score these. I'm sure he's done it a million times on the training paddock, in his backyard perhaps. The chest and turn and volley, that's bread and butter for him.
We've already seen it a couple of times this season as well. Bit of a cliche, good feet for a big man, but it's certainly appropriate. Here's Dobson, closed down again by Garuccio. They're showing a bit of pluck here, Newcastle. Referee could have perhaps allowed the game to continue as that ball was cleared, but it's going to be a drop ball in Newcastle's favour. Now we've got a player down. I think it's Noah Botic who's down at the moment. Well, this would be very disappointing for Noah Botic, who started the season very well, then picked up an injury, dropped out. John Aloisi, can't see anyone preparing to come on.
Looks to be a groin injury, yeah, perhaps reoccurring, but hit the ball so hard. Don't blame him, he's probably got something twinging in there.
So there they chat. There's Jordan Lawton, so they do have goals on the bench as well. Rami Najjarine is there. Kane Vidmar, it does look like a groin issue, but if it was that painful, you wouldn't be stretching it, that's for sure.
Yeah, you would be avoiding stretching for sure. Looks very high up as well, and Michael Roos possibly coming in.
You can see the games coming up. Western Sydney Wanderers versus the Mariners later today, and then tomorrow night the original rivalry clash on 10 Bold and Paramount Plus. Adelaide United, it's already a sellout crowd at Cooper Stadium for that one against Melbourne Victory. And it is going to be the end of the road for Noah Botic. They've got some big matches coming up. Western United, the Mariners, well, they actually have this weekend off coming up, which will do them some good to have that little bye. But then it's the Mariners in a midweek fixture at the end of the month. Then Macarthur, Auckland and Adelaide. Hopefully, for his sake, Noah Botic will be not too long on the sidelines after an excellent double today. It's Michael Roos who comes in.
Roos has got a job to do here, and it's potentially not to go and score goals. It's got to be going and running and pressing and doing the running that perhaps Ibasuki cannot do. Without being disrespectful, it's Roos' job now to really get in there, get stuck in, make runs in behind. It's going to be a physical job for him.
Well, he loves that. His profile, Michael Roos, is the hard runner. He's got 1 goal this season. It came in stoppage time. It was the winner against Sydney FC in that 4-3 thriller at Allianz, where he was actually released by Jordan Lawton, who would go on to score one of the contenders for goal of the season. But Roos is absolutely a hard runner. He only knows one way. Grimaldi in there wrestling. Gibson looking for Lockie Rose, but it's straight out of play.
They're looking for that option, aren't they? But it's just the pressure from Western, and in particular Garuccio down this side. And at 3-1, you don't mind the ball just hovering around in the Jets' half, but they need to find a quick outlet. The team in white look forward and trying to get it forward quickly.
Iwasuki starting to win a lot of dangerous ball in the air as well. Ruse back for Grimaldi. Went past Bayliss, but upended by Timmins. Thurgate, though. Danzaki with the little flick. Well read by Aquilina. They've just given it straight back again, though. And that's what was really making life difficult for them in the first half. They get the ball back and just hand it straight over again. Imai looks long for Danzaki. Once it bounces, though, there's only going to be one winner in that situation.
Yeah, that pressure relieved now a little bit in this area for Newcastle to try and mould something through Nutter. It's good passing ability. And can they find areas like here? A bit of space now.
Lockie Rose has done well. He's just turned straight back into trouble in the form of Bozanovski, who's won the throw for his side as well. And Lockie Rose apologises to his teammates.
It's great work from Bozanovski, identifying that they need help on that transition moment. And it's not a great ball forward there from the Newcastle Jets, but they're the sorts of balls that can really unsettle Western United. If you've got the right players in the right areas, expecting things to come quickly.
As it does here, that's a great release for Garuccio. Still has to scurry after it to get there. Well defended by Dobson, who's fouled then by Garuccio. He didn't want to let a quick counter-attack get away.
It's been an impressive cameo in the second half from Dobson. Really has been. Playing with maturity, head on his shoulders, and understanding when to hold the ball under pressure, when to draw a foul in your own half. Very difficult.
Timmins just getting away. He was surrounded by green and black shirts.
There was a bit of a delayed reaction, but there was contact there. 3-on-1. The Jets, will they go long?
Well, they go short, but backwards. Grozos. Now, it looks as though Ryan Scott will try and go long. Into the wind. Leonard's head up. Back from Ruse towards Thurgate. Bit of head tennis. And now Clayton Taylor. Well defended by Tate Russell. Oh, but Rose wanted it a little bit more. Clayton Taylor for Lockie Rose. Tate Russell with Imai. Thurgate with Russell again. And again, it's given away cheaply. Gibson, no way past Bozanovski. Here's Iwasuki. Gets it moving quickly. Danzaki, Ruse and Grimaldi. Oh, that's a nasty challenge from Bayliss, who's caught Riku Danzaki, who has had some shoulder problems in the past, and he's fallen heavily there. Looks like he can move his arms, though, so hopefully that's okay.
Oh, Danzaki, so good at moving the football. And it needed to come in from Bayliss, but, geez, he went in with absolutely everything he had. He came inside. That's a dangerous tackle. There was man around him in a white shirt. Danzaki, you've got to applaud almost the bravery of going into knowing there's a challenge coming in. And we haven't seen a lot from the set-piece area from Western apart from corners. So what have they got here?
Well, the set-piece situation for them is not too bad. They've scored 2 penalties along with the 4 corners, and also from one indirect free kick, which is what they have here. Then Garuccio steps over. Thurgate plays it short. Garuccio again. Well, it was a training ground routine. Perhaps looking to use the wind as well. Didn't come off on this occasion. Danzaki now. Oh, he's done well to find a pass there. Gibson's challenge only falls for Grimaldi. And he's tackled on the edge of the area. Wilmering now.
That was unfortunate for Wilmering, opening himself up there, nothing to play in front. Had to come back and recycle. And it plays into Western's hands because they do so well at getting numbers around the ball, as we see there. And I think for Newcastle Jets, if they want to try and break down this line, they've got to, when they go out one side, they've got to play it forward. They've got to ask the question, make Lockie Rose get in there and have a run, Clayton Taylor have a run.
They've played their way out of trouble there. It was Lockie Rose who missed the ball. Perhaps rather fortunately, they get the throw with Aquilina on this right-hand side. Here's Grozos, the Jets captain, with Nata. First-time ball into midfield with Bayless. Taylor able to turn now. A little bit of space for the Jets. Another goal, and this could become very interesting. Wilmering overhits the cross.
A little too enthusiastic, and in that area, you've got to be precise. You've either got to take a touch and come inside or really hit it low and hard. That's where Lockie Rose wants it. In the 6-yard box, he was there. He was across the front post. They've got to identify where they are strong, and it's in those areas.
West United working out who can possibly take a goal kick in their ranks. And finally got it underway, and it's kicked straight to the Jets. Oh, Garuccio reading the situation perfectly, but Ruse was offside. Probably would have run away anyway. Very hard to wait your pass at the moment with that wind at your back. Grozos for Bayless, and they're able to turn. Again, it's Garuccio with the challenge on Gibson this time. Grimaldi. Grozos reading the situation perfectly. Bayless back to Ryan Scott. Still just the 2 goals in it.
Yeah, and there's definitely going to be more. If Western United get that final ball correctly into the right area, it could be trouble for the Jets.
Timmins hurdling that challenge by Thurgate. Put into a dangerous area. Imai clears only as far as Dobson. The youngster keeps hold of possession. They come back through Grozos. He looks back for Will Dobson. It's a good ball. Dobson square into the area with Gibson. Bundled over by Bozanovsky. It looked a little bit clumsy, but the referee was perfectly positioned. Says nothing wrong with that at all.
Oh, it's really, really interesting there. Bozanovsky right into the back of Gibson, and he just almost let his body go limp, expecting contact, so it made it look even worse than what it was. It was really smart from Gibson. They're not going to have a look at this, I don't think.
Well, they've had a look, but said there's nothing doing. Yeah, perhaps if it had been entirely from behind and an arm or something, but it was just hip on hip, really. Clayton Taylor looking to run away. Bayless with Dobson. Dobson's ball is a good one for Gibson. And that's better again from the Jets. And a goal here with 15 minutes left to play plus stoppages could really put the cat amongst the pigeons.
I really like this idea from Dobson here. Good control of the ball and just feed it in along the ground and ask Gibson, can you control, can you shoot? But guess who was there yet again? Leonard. He's been fantastic tonight. Positioning's been there, intercepting everything.
Ball back post. Sutton comes and claims. Really enjoying his first real full season as first-choice goalkeeper, Matt Sutton. He's had plenty of work to do as well. James Donachie, one of the more experienced defenders, out since the opening day of the season, had surgery on his calf, but he's back on the training pitch, training with the ball, so hopefully it's not too far away. Charbel Shamoun isn't far away from coming back as well, the left back, and Dane Ingham as well. So Alexander Shushnia, another who's hopefully coming back soon.
Well, you add all those ingredients in together, it's going to be a fascinating end to the A-League season, and John Aloisi now can afford to make a couple of substitutions here at home.
Kane Vidmar and Luke Vickery coming on. Sebastian Pasquale is another who's been out for Western United. He's expected back soon. There is Vickery, who started last weekend against Melbourne. Vickery was excellent off the bench against Perth. So he's replaced a goalless Hiroshi Ibasuki this afternoon. Sutton comes.
Well, they've got a role to play here. The subs coming on for Western United, and for John Aloisi's side, it's been the other way around, having to chase games, and there is a different way. See Bruce chasing that one down himself, but it does become a habit, and I think this will please the coach right now, being in this position. But managing and seeing a game out when you're in front is another thing entirely. There's a yellow card here for Michael Ruiz, possibly just kicking that ball away.
Well, that's what he's out there to do as well, chase down every lost cause, make it as difficult as possible for the Jets. 3 points, massively important for this Western United side. Can move level on points at the top of the table, provisionally at least, with Melbourne City and Adelaide. This is their 14th match of the season, though, so they've played, will have played it when the full-time whistle goes. Perhaps 3 matches more than some sides in the competition. This is their first meeting of the season against Newcastle. They've already played Melbourne City and Melbourne Victory twice each already.
Well, there it is, and they moved up to equal first, Robbie, and you want to have points on the board rather than games in hand, and it's just been a really, really successful start to this campaign. And teams like Adelaide, 3 games less, like you said, that's going to be an interesting battle if they can get a couple of results. And this Christmas New Year period was the big tests. Travel, lots of games in short spaces of time. Now we revert back to a little bit more of a stable playing routine.
Well, on the travel front, Western United have already been to Auckland, have already been to Wellington, and already been to Perth. So those 3 travel trips will all be at home from now on here at Iron Park Fields. So they may have played more, but they've also done the hard yards, at least in terms of playing away and travelling. That's a good ball for Vickery. Oh, he's going to get there. It's been misjudged by Grozos. Vickery crosses. Oh, and really, they had a 3-on-2 there, and they probably should have got a 4th goal.
Definitely should have had a 4th goal. Just a little slip there from Grozos, trying to make that tackle. Vickery, he plays that in the air, it bounces around. There's a cutback as well for Danzaki, who made a really nice run to the penalty spot. Can they close this game out and get a couple more goals? Western, it's certainly on offer for them.
Vickery short with Garucho. The cross in near post. Kane Vidmar looking for his 2nd goal of the season. Doesn't get the corner he wanted.
I would love to know the idea from these corners, why there's nobody going out and marking and allowing just a cross coming in to the box from a closer angle than the corner flag.
Yeah, but also, why don't Western United try and run 2v1 and into the area? We only saw it once in the first half with a shot.
Spot on.
And that way, you'd very quickly find that they'd be putting 2 out there. Change coming. This the final substitution for Western United. Jordan Lawton will get 10 minutes. He replaces Reece Bozanovsky in the middle of the park. Moves straight in alongside Angus Thurgate in the centre of midfield. There you see, those are special cards that were made with Teo Pellizzeri's commentary call. And the cartoon, they were almost in again. It was a goal that certainly marked the spirits here at Western United. You're on the call, if I believe correctly, Eric.
Fantastic. Another injury time teaser from Western United. They've gone on to have a couple of those this season, and now we see Jordan Lawton playing. And it's about now becoming that first team regular. Show us what you can do. Very hard to score an amazing goal like that and expect that every single game. It's not going to happen. So let's see what he's about. He's already had a little bit of action this season.
One in behind for Dobson. Kane Vidmar across in cover. Looks like Wellisol is preparing to come into the game for Newcastle for this final 8.5 minutes. He's going to replace Ben Gibson. It's the Brazilian going to provide the difference. Tough afternoon for Ben Gibson, chasing not even shadows in the first half up front.
Well, there's still time to get something from this game. I'm not sure if they can go and get an equaliser or a winner, but there's a goal in it if they can pick the right moments. And it's things like that. First time balls around the corner, getting Lockie Rose to run in. Said it time and time again. And it's something to think about for the Jets moving forward. And hopefully Lockie Rose is a big part of that. His fitness levels need to be up, and can he last a full 90? But this pressure as well, so important to go down and close the goalkeeper down. That allows them to not play out from the back.
Oh, Ryan Scott comes and doesn't get there. Well, it was almost another Superman moment where he went diving after that one, not getting anywhere near it.
Well, you won't want to see this one again. It was like a fish up a tree. Just didn't know where he was going, but another corner for Western United.
Number 9 for Ryan Scott. It's the second corner of the second half. Number 9 for the match. For Garucha to take. Ruse was there, Lawton is there too. Here's Danzaki. Vickery. Plays it in low. Grimaldi across the face. Tomogimai was almost his target in the middle there. Kane Vidmar back with Garucho. Tate Russell finds Imai. Lawton. Taken any sting out of that press from the Jets, and that's a good switch of play for Vickery. Against Aquilina. Good ball. Thurgate, another of those late runs. Cuts it back. They're queuing up. Grimaldi. Well defended. It's come off Timmins. I think it'll be a corner.
Fantastic work. That's their pattern of play. Western United in that avenue of apprehension right there. Could he have taken that first time? He controls it, Vickery, and nutmegs the pass straight through the legs. And Thurgate, who else arriving? One player going out for the Jets to defend these two again.
Now Vickery. This time they do play it inside. Thurgate. Back out. Garuccio. Grimaldi. Just hacked away. Tate Russell, coolly done. Taking on Wilmering. He's won the throw. Off Daniel Wilmering. Tate Russell. Into the feet of Ruse. Good first touch, great turn. Vickery was there. Might still be alive. Now, Thurgate's claiming that should be a corner. Referee agrees.
Nothing worse. The scoreline where it is, last 5 minutes of the game, and you just cannot get out of your own half. And again, it doesn't go for a goal kick, it doesn't go for a throw, it's another corner. And whilst they defended some of these well today, they're finally going to go in directly. Western United.
Vickery it is. Near post. Ruse was there. It's another corner off Mark Natter. Again, Garuccio's on the edge of the area. Vickery to take. Again near post, glancing on. Towards Grimaldi at the back post, it's with Thurgate again. Taylor. One for Wellersall to chase, but he won't get there. It just hasn't come off so far for Newcastle. They had that goal that got them back in the contest. There's the Paramount Plus player index as it stands with a couple of minutes left. Botic, Leonard, Garuccio, Imai and Danzaki. It's been an excellent performance from the men in green and black. Ruse trying to just barge his way through. Now Grozos gives Lockie Rose one to chase. Just clipped the heels of Kane Vidmar.
Sutton's been alert to that one. Coming out of his own box, and he has to be not easy with the wind, as we've talked about. But that avenue, that's the way. Sometimes you just got to have an outlet. And Willersol's come in there. You've got Lockie Rose now trying to make that run over the top. But that's good goalkeeping. You get there, you clear the danger, you get it right, be consistent.
The boys in green for the Western Service crew. Well, they've done the job here today. They've scored another 3 goals. That's now 19 in their last 7 matches. If you look at their first 7 matches of the season, it was 6 goals in their first 7, 19 in their next 7. So something clicked there.
And you've got to mention they finished second last season with 26 points. And they're already on 24. So it's looking like it could be a real successful season. But John Aloisi won't be having any of that. They know that they've got a lot of work still to do. But like you said, some of those tough trips are out the way, and getting big results like they did last week away against Melbourne Victory, coming back twice from being behind, just spells that DNA, that championship DNA that's still hanging about there. There's a few added ingredients, and let's hope for Aloisi he's got it right.
He has spoken about how important it was to have that home ground as well. They've only lost once here. They've only played 7 games in the end at Ironbark Fields. That only loss coming against the Mariners last season, and the Mariners were basically unbeatable last season, particularly in that second half when they were winning the AFC Cup. Ball to the back post. Vickery is there. Nodded it just wide.
No, Vickery needed to do more with that. Had to be a little bit more aggressive. He was a little bit stationary, but Danzaki had made a really good option, dinking that one to the far post.
Well, history has taught us that anything can and often does happen. So Newcastle is still in this one. They need to do a Western United. Rose gives chase. Gets there, but can only find Danzaki. Wilmering not doing enough to get front position. Lawton with Russell. And this has been the big problem. Even when we saw the chances in the first half, it was for Danzaki's goal, for example. Western United first to balls in the penalty area as well. Grimaldi. Clever switch for Vickery. Up against Aquilina. Vickery goes past him. Garuccio now on the left, in short. Grimaldi just couldn't fire the shot off. Thurgate straightens up, now outside. Vickery again, first time ball. Thurgate into the area. Nice little turn, still Thurgate. Grimaldi again trying to bend it. Saved by Scott. And what has the referee given here? A free kick on the edge of the area. 3.5 minutes left in stoppage time.
Well, Ryan Scott running out of his own area here. Tate Russell not even touching him. He was out of control there, the number one.
Well, that's crazy from Ryan Scott.
I think he wanted to have a quick release and didn't expect Russell to pull out, but his mind was not made up as he ran towards that line.
He's lucky not to pick up a booking.
And he actually had an option. I think Lockie Rose could have been over the top. There was a player there for Western coming in, but Lockie Rose was away.
Only Sydney have scored more late goals in the last 15 minutes of matches than Western United. They have 11 to Western's 8. No one has conceded fewer goals in this last period of matches than Western United either, so it would be only logical that they had another here. It's going to be Thurgate, drives it in low. Vickery is there. Still Vickery with Lawton. Ruse. Good challenge from Dobson. Only as far as Lawton. Lockie Rose. Willisol now. Thurgate with the foul on Rose. Well, they're starting to leave it late even for a Western United style showdown now, the gents. There just hasn't been enough after they got that goal back, when they did have a couple of chances, to think that realistically they could do it.
I'd like to point out, I think Western United are a very well-oiled unit. They know what they're doing. You can see what they do when they lose the ball, when they win the ball, in the moments of the game, when to play long, when to run foot. It's a big ask for Newcastle Jets. You know, a young team, XYZ, but just the game plan didn't look as polished, I think, tonight is the best way to put it.
Danzaki. Lawton, strong in the challenge with Thurgate. Russell, no way past Wilmering. We're into the last 60 seconds, the 4th minute of stoppage time. Anywhere will do for Sutton. In the end, it's a great ball for Michael Ruse. He sets off Ruse on a run. Danzaki now, they're still coming. Grimaldi, Vickery and Ruse forward. Danzaki's cross. Brozos with the header. Oh, it's Timmins not dealing with it this time. Does well to win it back. Lockie Rose fouled by Kane Vidmar. Yellow cards out of the pocket.
Nasty foul, but the right one. The right one to concede at the moment in the game. The possibility of that fast break coming on. So this will be the last opportunity for probably either side. Everybody forward for the Jets finally.
The header. Now Bayliss looking to take over, but there's no more time, not even for one final consolation attack for the Newcastle Jets. The final whistle just confirming a 7th win of the season for Western United. John Aloisi's side moved level at the top of the standings, behind Melbourne City and Adelaide United. On goal difference alone, Riku Danzaki got them off to a great start in the 17th minute. Noah Botic added a second before the break. He then completed his double with an absolutely stunning second 10 minutes into the second half. It looked at that stage like it was over, but the Jets did show some character. Robbie Stanton's side pulling a goal back through the second half substitute, Lockie Rose, but in the end, too little, too late. As Eric Bartolou said, it was a polished performance from Western United, a show of strength as they start the second half of the season with a run of matches at home here at Ironbark Fields. They remain undefeated here at their new home ground this season as it finishes Western United 3, Newcastle Jets 1. Well, Eric, you called it polished. I think even before that opening goal, we knew that their confidence was high, that they came into this match as favourites, that the Jets, you know, we've said it before, it's every week the last chance for them at the moment, but it's not easy to play when you have that fear that you need a result more than anything.
Yeah, it was